The Nether is one of Minecraft's most intimidating and extreme environments, yet even against the hostile scorching temperatures and rough terrain, life found a way. From the hardy Piglin tribes to the humble fungus that thrive in the otherwise adverse conditions of their home. And where's there's life, there's a web. In this video, we'll be going over the food web of this dimension, focusing specifically on the non-undead, non-magical life forms, with a few exceptions. Importantly, this is all just speculation, seeing as much of the information will either be extrapolated from more solid evidence or pure guesswork. Starting out with one of the most well-known life forms in the Nether, noticeable feat given the dimension's fame, the Nether wart hides massive potential behind its humble appearance. This fungi-like organism is used as a universal base in potion making. In fact, it is the only base known to 100% work. Such an amazing utility could come from any number of sources, the most likely reason being their diet of soul energy they obtain from their homes, which they are surprisingly picky about, only growing in soul sand, not even its near identical cousin, soul soil, can please it. It's no wonder why netherwort is so rare, and due to this we can assume its place in the food web is minimal. However, even with their narrow tastes, something still doesn't add up. There are entire sprawling biomes composed exclusively of soul sand. What stops these intriguing organisms from flourishing here, when they seem perfectly fine in fortresses? Unfortunately, I couldn't find a suitable answer. While I'm sure someone else could make a convincing theory for the sake of continuing on our journey, this will remain one of the many secrets located in this universe. Moving on to a related, more adaptable life form, the fungal forests are much more abundant, appearing in two distinct colors. The mushrooms start out as small sprouts barely bigger than their overworld counterparts, which can also be found in the Nether, and most likely serve a similar ecological role, that as the all-important base of the food web. All the Nether's living denizens can thank this important life form for their meals. Evidence for their relatedness to netherwort comes from the fact that the fleshy rims of these organisms are nearly identical in composition to their rarer counterparts. Importantly, despite the aesthetic differences, very little changes between the red and blue variants. However, that isn't the only ecological role these organisms serve. The fungal trees you see around you are the adult forms of the humble ground shrooms, even though their younger stages also help decompose dead or dying matter, as well as presumably, given the haze, absorbing ambient soul energy. The large trees are much more effective at this, due to their large size. They inherently need more fuel to function, and when they die, will help feed the forests with their corpses. Living among the pretty twisting vines, a sturdy omnivore makes itself known. The hoglin is a pig-like denizen and one known for its fiery temper. However, you would be wrong to assume a dim-witted demeanor, for these beings have sharp minds indeed, including many novel behaviors we are still trying to pick apart, such as a very complex system of aggression. Another sign of their incredible intelligence is their pack nature, which again needs at least a little bit of cooperation. This keen instinct combined with their sturdy bodies and their omnivore abilities has awarded them an ecological niche as a highly successful mesopredator. Yet despite all these traits, one species still reigns over them. The mighty Piglins. Not only is their relationships with the hoglins a one of give and take, both will occasionally prey on each other, but through careful observation, Piglins are repeatedly shown to be on top in this relationship. Armed with a mind even greater than that of their quarry, these beings truly are something special. Capable of trade and cooperation, something that even their undead variety possesses, they inhabit blackstone structures where they have developed culture, technologies, and even found a way to brew fire resistance. However, they are hostile towards wither skeletons, and since the two sides seem evenly matched, I think the source of the supposed netherwort that goes into these brews is not the netherwort at all, but the caps of these tall mushroom trees. Truly a sign of excellent intellect. It may surprise you to learn, but the Piglin civilization is also one of foraging, not just hunting. Combine these traits mean that not only do the Piglins have a very enviable spot on the food web, they may have removed themselves entirely from it while still benefiting. Our next organism is simpler, but highly successful in its own way. Striders. These funky looking creatures are always fungivores and move from island to island. Some have even been tamed by piglins. Literally walking on the lava seas, here they are born and grow up. Yet when they are too weak to continue onwards, they find a nearby beach to rest. There they eventually pass, adding their bodies to the nutrients in the forest. That is, if they don't get eaten first. Ghasts are the terrifying floating predators of the Striders. Using their long tentacles, they pluck their favorite prey into the air and quickly consume them. Despite their large size and apparent lack of flight achieving organs, Ghasts are notorious for their unpredictable ways of drifting through the air, something they achieve via acting almost like hot air balloons. Using their bell-like body structure, these animals can catch the updraft of the Nether, ambient heat. Due to their mostly hollow lightweight anatomy, despite their incredible size, they in fact provide very little nutrients when they die. However, we haven't even discussed the most defining characteristics of our floating friends, their ability to shoot fireballs. Now why would the Nether's sole naturally occurring organic flying mob need a defense like this when nothing else can reach nor harm them? The answer can be found in a previous entry. Piglins are the only animal in the Nether that have both a ranged attack and potentially a will to kill them. Blazes are guardians and would not attack Ghasts unless they were provoked first. Withers don't even spawn normally, so the sole reason these beings would have a ranged defensive measure would be our very potent hunters. We have discussed one of the many potential food webs in this world. Seeing as this video is coming to a close, I will present to you the full diagram of what I think the Nether's food web looks like.